Oh, I don't know, for some reasons it was working fine yesterday. I fixed everything with the system, but suddenly it stopped working today again. So, no questions. Shall we jump directly into the topic? Yesterday we were trying to uh, understand how to process data from multiple tables, right? So we are basically using this select and selects, uh, and within that select and select, we are writing select single to get data from different tables. So you're basically looping one table. While you're processing that data, you are getting the other information from other tables by writing a select single inside the select and select block. Right? So today we'll try to understand how you can do this better. There are a few problems by writing this code this way. Someone raised their hand. Ravi? Ravi, you have a question? Ravi? Okay. Please type your question. I'm not too comfortable with closing the interface while speaking. Anyways, so with whatever we discussed so far to process the data, we've discussed how to write a select and select statement. We've discussed how to write a select single statement. We are trying to process one record at a time for our requirement, just because the data objects or the memory that you have defined in your program can only store one record at a time, right? That's the reason you can only fetch a maximum of one record at a time from the database, because the work area that you're using to save this information from the database can store only one record at a time. So that's why we have to depend on the select and select to process the data. If you have a data object in your program which can store more than one line at a time, then you can actually bring all the data that you want to process in one single hit to the database. Get all the data from the database into your program and then work with that data locally. Instead of hitting the database for every record, in one hit you get all the data that you want to process, and then you can work with that data locally. So these variables, work areas, the structures, all this can store only one record at a time, maximum. The moment you try to store a new record in the same memory, it will replace the existing record, right? So in ABAP, we have internal tables. Internal tables are the only data objects which can store more than one record. Okay. For example, in this program that you see, which we have developed yesterday, right now I'm processing some data for a given material. I'm printing some output. Okay, I've selected this data from the database and I'm printing this output. Now, the user says, please give me one PDF button here in the output screen in the application toolbar. When I click on that button, download all this output data as a PDF file. Okay. So to download this data as a PDF, you again need this data. You have already selected and you're printing this in the output, and I haven't stored this information, what I see on the screen, I haven't stored it anywhere in my program. It's not available in my program. All I have in my program is the last record in this structures, the last record. I don't have the previous records. I've already written that in the output, right? It's on the list screen. But if the user says, give me a PDF button where you can download this output, then since I don't have this data stored in my program anywhere, again, when he clicks on the PDF button, again I have to write the same select and select, again get the same data from the database, and then instead of printing in the output, you download that as a PDF. So if you want to access the same data again in your program, then you have to write this select again. So if you want to access the same data, or if you want to process the same data at 4 different places in your program, then you have to repeat these select statements at all those 4 places, right? So you need to repeat the select statements. With internal tables, you can actually get the data from the database in one hit, and then you can work with that data locally. So if you want to process that data 4 times, you don't need to hit the database. You already have the data in your internal table, so just use that data any number of times that you need in your program. Okay, so there are advantages of using internal tables from a performance point of view. So today we'll discuss these internal tables. So we'll start with how to define an internal table and how to use that internal table in your program. Okay. Any questions so far? So I'll create a new program. We'll do the same requirement using internal tables. But before that, let me explain how you define an internal table and how you process these internal tables. To create an internal table, here if I say data WAMAKT type TYMAKT, it creates a work area or a structure with these fields in it, right? So this is how you define a structure. If you want to define an internal table, the structure can only store one record at a time. If you want to define an internal table, internal tables we name them IT underscore. The naming convention is IT underscore. So IT underscore MAKT. If I say type table of TYMAKT, then this creates an internal table. Instead of saying simply type TYMAKT, if I say type table of TYMAKT, then it creates an internal table. So this is how you can define your internal tables in your program. But internal tables are a bit different compared to other data objects that you create. These work areas, variables, I can access them directly. I can say WAMAKT, for example, if I want to access the material number field of this MAKT structure, then I can say WAMAKT matnar equals to 100, right? Now, this ITMAKT is an internal table, and since I said type table of TYMAKT, even this internal table ITMAKT will have the same fields, all the 3 fields in it, right? So, but you cannot access these fields directly. I cannot say ITMAKT hyphen matnar. You cannot access the fields of your internal table directly. Either to store data in your internal table or to retrieve data from the internal table, you always need a work area. Okay. For example, you can say this is my internal table, which can store multiple lines of data. So we have rows and columns. Let's say this internal table has 3 columns or 3 fields. Each field represents 1 column. So I have this matnar, SPRAS and MAKTX 3 fields, and I have multiple rows. I'm sorry, I'm using the touchpad to draw. So this is how your internal table would be. It's a table basically. So you have multiple rows of data in the internal table, but you cannot access these rows directly. You cannot access the fields of your internal table directly. So let's say you have some data in this internal table and you want to process this data. How do you do it? To process the data in the internal table, you define one work area, a structure, which is of the same line type. That means this structure should also have the same number of fields in it as your internal table. So now this structure will also have same 3 fields in it, MATNAR, SPRAS and MAKTX. And then you bring one record at a time to your work area and then process that. You cannot access the internal table directly. You need a work area. You always work with the data in a work area. So that's why we call it a work area. So to process, if you have some data in the internal table, to process that data, you don't access the table directly, but you bring one record at a time to your work area and then process that data. So I'll be defining a separate memory as a work area for this internal table, and I'll be using this work area. The same way, if I want to store data in the internal table, I would fill the work area with the line, what I want to store, and then store it in the internal table. So I'll be again using a work area. So to either retrieve data from the internal table or to store data in the internal table, we always need a work area. Okay. So let's see how you can store this data in the internal table. Let's say I want to store 3 entries in this internal table, IT MAKT, which I have just defined. So whenever you define an internal table, you say type table of and give some structure reference. After that, define a work area referring to the same structure so that my internal table and the work area will be of the same line type. They'll have the same set of fields in the same order. So the line type is the same for these 2 structures. Okay. So let me fill some information. MAKT, MAKTX, test. For example, let's say I want to store these 5 lines in the table. Let's see if I write it this way, what happens. If I give a breakpoint here, this is my structure. I'm storing the first line of information into this structure, 100E MAKTX. Now when I try to store the second line, second set of information, then the second line will replace the existing line. I'm just repeating the same line. Let me change the values. Let's say 300 F test 3 400 G test 4. So this WMAKT, you see, I have these 3 fields information. When I try to store a new value into the same work area, it will replace the existing value, right? Because your work areas can store only one record. With internal tables, what I can do is I can fill this work area with the information. Before I update the work area with the new set of information, I can save this information in my internal table, okay, by using this append statement. If I say append WAMAKT to ITMAKT, then it will insert this record into my internal table, and my internal table can store more than one record. I'm just writing some code to stop the debugger. Now if you see, I'm filling the work area with the information. Before I fill this work area with the new set of information, I have this internal table ITMAKT, right? When I say append, that line will be added to the internal table. So the first line is added. So now my internal table has one line. Then I'm filling the work area with the new set of information. So the earlier one will be replaced. Then again I'm saying append. So it will add a new record, a second line. So like that, you can store any number of lines in your internal table. The only limitation is theoretically your internal table can grow up to 2 GB in size, but practically this limit will be set to 500 MB. So your internal table can have data up to 500 MB in it. That's the only limitation on how much data you can store in an internal table. So this way I can store multiple lines of data in my program. Any questions so far? So I have all the 5 records stored in my internal table. Leonard?
Yes, is that 500 megabyte limit per internal table or for all of them in the application?
Per internal table.
Per internal table?
Per internal table it can store theoretically 2 GB, but in companies they restrict it to 500 MB.
Okay, thank you.
Again, there are different types of internal tables that we create, which I'll be talking about. There's one type of table called hash table. That hash table has another restriction of 2 million records, so either 500 MB or 2 million records. But other types of tables, there's no restriction on number of records, but there's a restriction on the size of the table. So internal tables are the only data objects. They are like arrays. In other programming languages, you have arrays which can store more than one record, multiple lines of data. Now, this is how you insert data into the internal table. Now, if you want to, now I already have the data in my internal table. If I want to process this data, how do I access that data from the internal table? There are different ways you can access this data. There are in fact 2 ways. I'll show you one way. One way of accessing the data, if you want to process all the records one after the other from your internal table, then again you need the work area. So I can say loop at ITMAKT into WAMAKT. Okay, let me clear the work area. Here I'm using the work area to store the data in the internal table. So I'm filling the work area and then appending that line to the internal table. The same way to process the data that is there in your internal table right now, my internal table has these 5 records, right? I cannot access these 5 records directly from my internal table. To process this data that is there in the internal table, I need this work area again. So I can use this loop statement wherein I'll be bringing one record at a time into my work area. Okay, in the first loop it will bring the first record from the internal table to the work area. Then I'll process that record. Then in the second loop it will bring the second record, right? So like that you process one record at a time. So it will loop 5 times, and in each loop it will bring one record into my work area. So basically in the earlier case you are saying select and select, you are looping the database table, and within that select and select you are writing the output, right? So here the same thing I can do by MKT MATNAR, WA MKT SPRAS, WA MKT MKTX. So I can write it within this loop. So basically instead of looping the database table, it's much faster to loop your internal table. Okay, so here I'm processing all the data from my internal table one line at a time again. Prashant, you have a question?
Hey, Kiran, so you don't have to clear the work area, right?
Anyway, the next record will replace it, but it's always a good practice to clear. For example,
Okay.
let's say I don't have anything in the language field. It's empty in the first record. Sorry, let me not clear the work area.
Okay. Yeah. Okay, I understand.
Let's
So
just
you're saying
show
could
you.
be the material and the text could exist, yeah, okay.
Here I'm not filling anything in the first record. Language is empty, and at this point my work area would have the last record, right, where language is E. So my work area is having 100 E test, and my internal table first record language is empty, there's no record. So when I say loop at ITMAKT, it will bring the first record into my work area in the first loop.
Okay.
And okay, it has overwritten with space, but ideally if your field is empty, then it won't replace. In case here it is filled with space, so space is replacing. But if it's not filled with space, then the work area would still have the previous entry. So you will have the previous entry going forward. So that's why it's always a good practice to clear your work areas after you append. Even in this case here, we should ideally be clearing the work area.
But
After I append, I'll clear it so that if I don't fill anything, the previous value will not be carried forward.
you have to clear the work area within the loop, right?
Again, anytime before you use the work area again the second time, clear it so that you won't carry the previous value. So I should be clearing it here before appending. After appending, I should clear it here. I should clear it here also after the loop. Before I go to the next loop, I should be clearing it here also.
Right.
Okay. So this is the basic of your internal table, how you use an internal table to process the data. So to define the internal table, you can say type table of, that creates an internal table. But the only restriction is you cannot access this internal table directly. We always need a work area to process the data. So you define one work area of the same type as your internal table, and then to fill this internal table with the data, you first fill your work area with the information, then append it to your internal table. The same way, to retrieve the data that is there in the internal table, you can loop the table and bring one line at a time to your work area and then process that record. Bhushan?
Kiran, will this internal table consider those 3 fields as separate fields or all the 100 test as the same field?
Separate fields.
Since you can't access in a single
No, it
separate
does
fields only.
yeah, there are separate fields. If you see the internal table, it has these 3 fields. I mean MATNA, SPRAS, and MAKTX. So these are 3 fields in the table. So this is your MATNA, this is your SPRAS, and this is MAKTX.
Okay. Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Okay.
So what do you understand now? Which is better way of doing? Writing a select and select, bringing one record into your database, from your database into your program, and then printing that in the output, or bringing the data at once into your internal table and then printing that in the output, accessing the internal table and then printing that output. Which one is better? Let's see which one is better. This is SC30 runtime analysis. Here, if you have a doubt between whether this is a better way of writing the code or there's some other better way, if you are confused between 2 statements and you want to see which one is better, performance point of view, you can go to this SC30 transaction and write your code. Here, let's use this select and select on the left hand side. So I'll define one work area, type MAKT, and then I'll say select star from MAKT into WA MAKT, and if whatever I want to do with that line which I'm bringing, I can write it between select and select, right? So let's say we'll write some write statement or anything. Here let's use an internal table. Okay. When I use an internal table, I can directly bring all the data at once into my program. I don't need to bring one record at a time. So I can say select star from MAKT into, I can say table and give the internal table name. I don't need this and select. So by saying into table, addition to your select statement, you can actually bring all the data at once into your internal table, all the matching records. So here I'm bringing one record at a time. I'm looping by using select and select. In this case, I'm bringing all the data at once. Okay. Once I have this data, I cannot access the data in the internal table. I'm not writing a where condition so that we'll get all the data from the database so that we can actually see some difference. Then I can say loop at IT MAKT into WA MAKT. End loop. Okay. So here to process the same record, I can say select and select, and between that select and select, I can use my write statement to print the output. Whereas if I use an internal table, first I'll bring the data to my internal table by using this into table addition. Then I need to loop that table, and within that loop and loop of the internal table, I can use the write statement to print the output. So if I say write between this select and select and write between loop and loop, it will give me the same output, right? Let's see what's the difference in runtime. When I say measure runtime, this took around 540 microseconds and this took around 531,000 microseconds. Not much, right? Hardly any difference. One reason being, this is a test system. You don't have much data in MAKT table, so you're not processing a lot of data. So, but still with that data, the difference is, it hardly makes any difference. But as I said, if you want to reuse this data at different places in your program, if I want to reuse the same data at 3 different places in my program, then I have to repeat this select and select, because I'm not storing this data in my program. So I have to repeat this select and select 4 times if I want to use it 4 times in my program. Whereas here I've already selected the data from the database into my internal table, so it's available in the internal table. I can access that data. So I only need to loop my internal table. I don't need to hit the database again. So here I'll simply loop the internal table because it already has the data to process that data. Whereas here I need to hit the database to get the data again because I don't have the data in my program. Now when I do it this way, let's see what difference does it make. Someone raised their hand. Any questions? Anyone? So this took around 664 microseconds when using internal table, whereas this took almost 4 times of that. There's a huge difference now. It's 4 times your other code. So using your internal tables is much better compared to writing a select every time you need the data. Instead of writing a select every time you need the data, you just bring all that data once into your program and then work with that data locally. So accessing the data in an internal table is much faster compared to accessing the data in the database every time you need to process that data. Right? So that's why we always use internal tables. We no more use these select and selects. It's kind of obsolete now. So we don't use select and selects anymore. Earlier, there were some limitations with internal tables. So in older programs, you would still see a lot of select and select code. But right now, we don't use select and selects. We always use an internal table. Vijita?
Yeah, Kiran, can you show how you came to this screen when you went to SE30? After that, how did you come here?
In SE30, click on these tips and tricks.
Okay.
So you can,
So if I want to see like how my program.
if you want to analyze your program, before I tell you, on the left hand side you can actually see some examples. You can also go through this example to understand which is a better way of writing. For example, select plus check or using select with where condition, which is better. Both way you'll get the same data, so you can execute and see which is better. So this way you'll understand which is the best way of writing your code when you have more than one option to do the same thing. So the same way, this took around this many microseconds, whereas the where condition is much faster. So you can use if versus case. If you want to use if condition or a case condition, which is better. So you can just go through this. And if you want to analyze your program, you can simply give your program name, execute, go back and see, click on this evaluate. So it will show you how much ABAP resource, how much load it was on the database, your code. So the ABAP should be more, database and system should be less, always.
What is ABAP?
The runtime environment.
It's
So it should
processor
be yeah. So you should keep minimum load on the network and the database. So that's why if you write select and select repeatedly, if you're fetching the data every time you need, then you're keeping a load on the database. Instead, if you use an internal table, you'll only hit the database once to get the data and then work with that data locally. So that won't cause a lot of load on the database.
And the third parameter was system. What was that?
System CPU usage to process your program code. How much CPU it used.
Okay. Do we get any documentation on these tools somewhere, or like, see, there's so many options. So how do we understand that which option is for what purpose? Like I see in parallel session schedule and all those things.
There should be some documentation. If you go search in help.sap.com for SC30 transaction runtime analysis, you'll get a documentation. If you want, I can pull out something and give it to you. So,
Okay, no problem.
but at this point, it's too early for you to worry about all this. With time, you will understand. But I'll try if I can get one documentation for you.
Okay. Okay, thanks.
So now you understand which is better, using select and selects or using your internal tables. So it's clearly evident now that using your internal tables is always efficient compared to using select and selects or any other way of processing the data. So whenever you want to process data, simply bring all the data at once into your program and then process that data. So access the data locally in your internal table rather than hitting the database every time you need that data. So any questions on these internal tables? No? So when you talk about these internal tables, there are different types of internal tables that you can create. And when I talk about accessing the data in the internal table, again, there are different ways you can access the data. By using the loop statement, you are processing all the data in the internal table one record at a time. Or else, you can also process a particular record in the internal table. Either you have the options like you have select and select. In select and select, you'll be processing all the records one at a time. With select single, you'll be processing only a single record, any one record from the database, right? The same way with internal tables also, either you can process all the records by using loop. You can compare this loop and loop to select and select. And by using the read statement, you can process any one record from the internal table. If your internal table has 10 records, you can process any one record out of those 10 records by using a read statement. So you can compare this read statement to select single. Selects are for database, loop and read are for your internal tables. Okay, so don't write a select to your internal table. Select statements are for database tables. So once you bring the data into your internal table, you can do the same thing. If you want to process all the records, you can loop the table. But if you want to process a single record, you can use the read statement. So when I talk about this read statement, processing a single record, there are two ways again. One is your index access. When I talk about accessing the data in the internal table, either you can access the data by index or by key. Okay. In index access, you can read any line based on the index. With key, you can actually compare a value in the field and read that line. So let's see how to write this read statement to process a single record. So if I don't want to loop it, then I can use a read statement. I'll say read table itmakt. Again, I'll bring this record to my work area. So I'll say read table itmakt into wamkt. And if you want to read it by index, for example, if you want to read the third line in the internal table, irrespective of what the line is, what the value in that line, you simply want to process the third line in the internal table. Then I can say index 3. It will bring the third line of my internal table into my work area. Okay. The same way, if you want to read by comparing a value, then I can write the same read statement. read table ITMAKT into WAMAKT with key. Let's say I want to read where material number is 400 with key matnar equals to 400. When I say this, the system will scan the internal table, and wherever it finds matnar to be 400, it will read or bring that line into my work area. So here you can see my third line in the internal table is 300 F test 3. That's the third line. Here you can see the index 1, 2, 3. Now, this is not exactly the index, but in debugger it's showing the line numbers. So the third line is 300 F test 3. When I say read table ITMAKT into WMAKT index 3, it will read that third line 300 F test 3. So it has brought the third line of my internal table into the work area. Now I can process that line. So I can write it in the output or do whatever you want to do with that line. So this way you can access a line in the internal table by its index number. The same way, many times you won't be sure what entry you'll have in which line. So most often you can't read by the index. But you just want to process a record where material number is 400. So this is the most frequently used way of reading the data. So here what the system will do is it will scan my internal table one line after the other. Wherever the material number is 400, it will bring that line into my work area. So after I executed that read statement, my work area has 400G test 4. So here it is 400G test 4. So it has brought that line into my work area. So when we talk about accessing the data in an internal table, either you can access a single record by using read statement, or you can access all, or you can process all the records by using the loop statement. And when you want to write a read statement, again you have two options. Either you can read by index or read by key. So in index you can specify the index number, and in key you can specify the key by which you want to read. Lakshmi?
Yeah, I can. Can we use logical operator with this read statement, like and or something like that?
You cannot you can use equal to, and you can compare more than one field, but you cannot use or and all these things. If I want to read where, for example, let's say I have,
How will I compare more than?
I'll show you. For example, I have two entries with the same material number, and one is having the language G and one is having language D. Okay. This read statement will always bring you the first matching record. So if I say read table ITMAKT with key matnar equals to 400, now there are two entries where matnar is 400, and read statement will only bring one line, so it will always bring this first record. The first matching record it finds, it will copy that to your work area and it will quit scanning your internal table further. So it won't even scan the next record. It will always bring the first record. But you want to process a record where matnar is 400 and spras is D. In this case, you want to process the second record. Then you can simply say matnar equals to 400 space spras equals to D. So it will bring that line where both match, where matnar is 400 and spras is D. So in this case, now it will bring the second record, second 400 material. Okay.
So, but and or cannot be used. Right?
This is like AND only. You cannot
Yeah,
use OR.
it's behaving as an and.
Yeah. But you cannot use or not equal to, or you can only say equal to, and you can only restrict by adding more fields.
If suppose there is a requirement, then what we can do with that?
I'll tell you that.
Okay.
Vijita?
Yes, Kiran. So, as I mentioned, when there are more than one records, first one is picked up.
Mhm.
If there is no record found, will it behave like select where size sub RC is filled with?
Yes, size of RC will have non-zero value. So every statement, if you press F1, even on the select or this read statement, read table iTab. So in this F1 documentation, they'll specify what will be the system field. The statement read table sets the system field size sub RC and iTabix. So these are the two fields which will be updated. So size sub RC 0, at least one record is found, 2 some other meaning. So if size sub RC is 0, that means it could find a record. If it has any other value except 0, then there is some problem. It could not find the record.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah.
So that's how you can identify. By checking the size sub RC, you can identify whether you could retrieve the record or not. So any questions, anyone with this? Now read statement will always process a single record. What if you want to process more than one record? For example, you want to process both these records, both the materials where the material number is 400. If I use it in read statement, if I say where matnar equals to 400, and if I repeat this read statement twice or thrice, it will always bring, every time it will always bring the first record only. It won't even scan for the second record. The moment it finds the first matching record, it will quit scanning your internal table. Okay. So how do you process more than one record? Anytime you want to process more than one record, you always loop your table. Okay. Read statement will always process a single record. So remember that. So if you want to process more than one record, you need to loop your table. But if I say loop, it will process all the records, one after the other. But I want to process only these two records where material is 400. In that case, I can restrict my loop by saying where. So I can say loop at itmakt into wmakt where matnar equals to 400. Then it will process all the records in the internal table where material is 400. So in this case, it will process both the records. So now you can see both these records are processed. So I can restrict my loop by using a where condition. So same case as Lakshmi asked, if you want to use an OR condition, you can also do it here, where material equals to 400 or matnar equals to 300. So whatever conditions you want to write, you can use all the logical operators to your where condition. You can use not equal to, greater than, less than, everything you can use here. But with the read statement, you don't have that option. Okay? Any questions? Prashant?
Hey, Kiran, so the indexing, is it like from 1 to, does it start with a 1 or start with a 0?
1.
1, oh, okay, okay.
Okay. So these are the basic things that you need to know with internal tables. So shall we do our requirement using internal tables before I talk more about these internal tables? So you want me to keep this program for reference, or shall I delete this code? So we'll do the same requirement, processing data from multiple tables. So I'll create a new program. So I'll leave this for your reference. Multiple itabs. So everyone is comfortable with internal tables because this is the most important thing in ABAP. If you know how to work with your internal tables, you know most of the things. You should be comfortable with many things in ABAP. But if you struggle with internal tables, then you'll struggle with a lot of things. So anyone would like to help me with this program like yesterday? Instead of this select and selects, I just want to use the internal tables. Because we've just seen that internal select and selects are not that great. So anyone would like to help me? Prashant, your hand is raised. Sujit, as I said, or conditions,
okay.
or conditions, you need to go with your loop. Yeah, Prashant. So you'd like to help me? How I can print the same output but using internal tables this time?
Sure, let's try here.
So let me define these internal tables first. I'll say itmakt type table of tymakt it underscore marc type table of tymarc. Always make sure that your internal table line type and the work area line type are the same. So itmakt t001w type table of ty underscore d001w. Okay, so I have these three internal tables, three work areas to work with those internal tables.
Okay.
So let's get started. So what do you want me to do first?
The same as we're gonna loop. First we're gonna get the values of the work area, the MARC.
That was the first statement I should write. So you need to first bring the data from the
We're gonna
database,
say
right? So you need to write the select statement first.
right. Yep.
So I say select
Okay.
matnar spras maktx from makt into, so we'll use the internal table, so I'll say into table itmakt where matnar equals to pmatnar. So this will bring the data from makt into my itmakt. Then select matnar works from marc into table itmarc
Right.
where matnar equals to pmatnar.
Equals to pmatnar. Yeah.
Okay, I'll just write this loop to stop the debugger, and let's see in debug mode what data we have at this point. itma. So here itmakt is bringing all the data in all the languages, so I'll have more than one record. Let's restrict this by language. And in itmakt I have all the data, all the 13 records. If I open this database table to show you, $100, $600. So there are 13 records in this database table for this $100, $600 material. So I brought all these records in one go into my internal table. So all the 13 records. Same way, IT MARC. If you look at this and I execute the select, all the 5 records that are there in MARC are in my internal table.
Mm-hmm.
So I got data from MAKT. Let me restrict this by language. Class equals to Scilab. So in my next exam next week, I would be concentrating on this system fields. So there's an article in the website on system fields. Just go through that to understand different system fields. So I got the data from the first table MAKT, second table
So now,
MARC. For the third table, we have some problem, or we don't. You also need to bring data from T0.
for the third one,
Yeah, go ahead, please.
we can do it within the internal, within the loop, right?
Okay. So right now, to write this select statement outside the loop, for example, if I want to write select works name1 from T0 01W into table IT T001W. But what do I compare in where condition? We need to compare works. We don't have works.
Whoops.
So what we'll do is, for the time being, one option is either you can write a select single within the loop, like the other example, how we were doing earlier. But idea is to avoid this nested selects, and we always try to avoid writing selects within loops. Again, that's bad from a performance point of view.
We can do that key, right?
No, key is for your internal tables, not for selects.
Oh, keys. Sorry. Yep. Okay.
So we try to avoid nested loops, nested selects. The same way we also try to avoid selects within loops, because the whole idea is to bring all the data at once into your program rather than hitting the database for every single record, right? So if I write a select single within the loop, then every loop it is executing the select. So I'm hitting the database. So for the time being, let's write this select without where condition. Let's dump all the data from this T001W into our internal table. I'll show you how you can write a where condition for this select also later. So I got the data from these three different tables. So what do I do next?
We're going to use the write statement.
Directly. Now the data I want to process is available in my program. So how do you print this data in the
We're going to read the data from internal table into the work area.
So which table?
So we're going to loop at, so the main table would be the MAKT.
MARC, same as yesterday, right?
Yeah, same as yesterday, sorry. Yeah.
So here, sorry.
So it'll be,
This is what we were doing. We were, I'm sorry, this one, yeah. So here you are looping the main table, MARC, select and select, and within that you are writing select singles. So I said you can replace select and select with a loop, and you can replace select single with a read, right? So
okay.
what
So
should I
we'll
do?
see loop at the IT underscore MARC
ITMRC
into WA underscore into WA underscore MARC.
Then, so I'm looping one table. So let's use the write statement also, so that we can keep them separate. So let's say from my MARC I want to print MATNAR, material number, and works. So now I have these two fields, but I still need to print the material description for every material I'm printing and the plant description for every plant I'm printing. So works is the plant here. So how do I get the other two fields to print?
We again we need to we can use the read statement.
So right now if you see this output, I'll just show you quickly. For 100 material, I'm just printing the material number and the plant number. So we need to fit the material description and then the plan description. So where do you want me to write the read statement?
We can write the read statement above or below the write statement, should not matter.
Above or below the write statement? You need to read it before you write it in the output, right?
No, I mean the write statement that you have written just now, the works. We can write immediately after that, right?
If you write it
So
after,
we have to read the MAKT table.
one thing you tell me, you want to write the read statement within the loop or outside the loop? You
I
want
need to write within the loop.
within the loop, okay. So how do I write my read statement? Let's say first we'll write it for MAKT, read table IT MAKT into WA MAKT, right? You want to use index or how you want to read it? We'll use key. With key, matnar
With key
equals to whatever material number you are printing.
Mm-hmm.
For that material,
W underscore.
read this ITMAKT for that material, get its description. So when I read this, it will bring the line where material is matching the current material. So I'll also get the description.
Mm-hmm.
So this read statement will bring the description into my WMAKT, right? So I can fit that
particular-
here. I can say WMAKT MAKTX. So I got the third value also.
Right. Yeah.
Then,
Yep.
so you're saying if I write this read statement after the write statement, you're saying you can write it after the write also, right? If you write it here, you won't have anything in WMAKT MAKTX. It is getting filled after the write statement. So you need to read it before you write it.
Right. Yeah, I was thinking to write use the write statement after, but that's fine. Yeah. Okay.
Okay. Now then, what else do I need to do? So I got material number, material description and plant. Now we need to print the plant description.
Okay. We can use one more read statement.
Read table IT underscore
Read table
1W
underscore 01W
into WA underscore T001W. Same with key.
Mm-hmm.
Here we'll compare works.
Works
Works equal to whatever works you are printing in the
equals
output.
to.
Right?
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And here I'll print WA T001W name 1. Name 1 is the field which has your plant description. So now if you see the output, so I'm selecting the data first all at one go into my internal tables. Then I'm looping one table. Based on that, I'm reading the other tables. So I'm reading MAKT comparing the material number that I'm printing in the output. So this will bring
Wait.
the description. The same way, I'm reading T001W comparing the plant number I'm printing in the output. So this will bring me the plant description into my T001 work area. And I'm printing all that in the output. Right. So we just replace this select and selects and select within loops with internal tables. This is the ideal way of doing it. Okay. Any questions? Anyone? Thanks, Prashant. So any questions with this? They say if you can understand looping a table, reading a table, which table to loop, which table to read, if you can write a read statement within a loop, you know ABAP. ABAP is all about this. You can take my word for that. So if you are comfortable with this part, then you'll be very comfortable with everything else. Agnel?
Hello. Can you hear me?
Yes.
Hello.
Yeah, go ahead, please.
Okay. I was wondering whether we can use the joint queries. Is it not possible in ABAP?
You also use joins, but we also have a better way of doing it than joins. Okay.
I mean, like,
If
if
you
we
want to
have to
fetch
combine
data
some
from
tables.
if you want to fetch data from multiple tables in one go, you can use joins, or we can also use something called for all entries. So by using joins, you are actually comparing data in one database table with the other database table and then bringing the data. With you, by using for all entries,
Yes,
we'll be comparing the data in one internal table and then bringing the data from a database. So you're actually scanning an internal table here. So scanning an internal table would be much faster than scanning your database tables. So using for all entries is more efficient than using joins.
Okay. To simplify the SQLs, I mean, the joint is much better option, right?
Yeah, but as I said, when you use a join, maybe the statement that you write might look simple, but in the background, you're making the system to scan one database table and then find the matching records in the other database table. So you're scanning database level. But here, we are avoiding that. So you're avoiding scanning your database table because it really takes a lot of time to scan your tables. So
Okay. Thank you.
we avoid that. So as I said before I take your questions, now this program looks perfect, but the only issue is even though I need only certain fields information, certain plant descriptions, but since I'm writing this select without where condition, it is bringing all the data from the database. It has fetched around 191 records from the database. If I look at my internal table, database table, T001W, there are total 191 records in this database table. So it has fetched all the 191 records. Since this is a test system, there are only few records. So if you write a select without where condition, it would work because we don't have much data. But in a production system, you always will have a lot of data saved in the table. And I said your internal table limitation is 500 MB. So if you try to fetch all the data from the database, your database can have GBs of data. So if you try to write a select without where condition, the system will try to bring all the data into your program, and if it is more than 500 MB, then you will get a runtime error because your internal table cannot store more than that. So we never write selects without where condition. So always you need to restrict your selection by using the where condition. But the problem here is we don't have the field to compare, right? One way of writing a select where condition is instead of read here, if I want to get rid of the select outside the loop, here I can say select single. Select single works name1 from T001W into WA underscore T001W where works equals to WA Marcy works. So one way of getting rid of this select without where condition is actually writing a select within the loop, select single, and using a where condition for that. This way, from a performance point of view, it may not be good, but at least I can guarantee that there won't be any runtime error. But if I write my code this way without where condition, there is no guarantee that you won't get a runtime error. If the data is more, you'll get a runtime error, right? So both are wrong, both are bad, both are not the ideal way. Then how do I write a select where condition to this? There's one more addition that you can use with your select statement. I'll just talk about this and conclude today's session. There's one more way, one more variation, that is your for all entries. By saying for all entries, I can make the system scan one internal table and compare the values of that internal table. So I can say select this from this table into my internal table. For all entries in, right now in this program, I have this works in MARC. So I can say for all entries in IT MARC, where works equals to IT MARC works. By writing the select this way, I am asking the system to scan this ITMRC internal table for the works field, and for all those works, get me the matching records from T001W. So this is how you can restrict your selection. So now if you see this in debug mode, my ITMRC has around 11 plants, 11 different plants. Now in the next select, I'm asking the system to scan this ITMRC for that works field. For all those 11 plants that I have in my ITMRC, get me the matching records from T001W. So when I execute this select, for all these 11 plants, it has got me the matching records. So now I'm not dumping all the data from the database. I'm restricting the selection by actually telling the system to scan one internal table. So by using this for all entries, the system will scan your internal table and then hit the database to get the matching records from the other table. By using a join, you'll be actually making the system to scan one database table and then get the records from another database table. So the scanning and retrieval is happening at the database table level. But here, the scanning is happening at the internal table level and retrieval is happening at the database level. So for all entries to an extent are more efficient compared to writing joins. As long as you don't have too many tables. So if it is 2 or 3 tables deep, then using for all entries is better. So any questions on this? How to use for all entries? We are running out of time, so I'll continue tomorrow. Just remind me, there are a few things you need to remember while you use for all entries in your program. So kindly remind me if I forget. I'll tell you that tomorrow. What are the things that you need to keep in mind when you use for all entries in your program? So any questions? So do you want me to give you any assignment or you're fine? So maybe you can just repeat this, use internal tables, try defining your internal tables. Tomorrow we'll discuss the different types of internal tables that you can use, what's the difference between them. And you can actually change your original program that you have developed, billing document 1. There you were using select and selects, right? So instead of selects and selects, replace that with internal tables. In the same assignment, print me the same output but using internal tables. Okay? So anyone here who is not comfortable with what we discussed today? You can raise your hand. Let me see how many of you are not clear with what we discussed today, internal tables, looping or reading. So everyone is comfortable. Please let me know if you're not comfortable. Otherwise, there's no way I can know if you don't tell me. So everyone is clear because this is very important. Fine then, just repeat this what I did in the class today. Just repeat this program and then change your billing document assignment program to use internal tables instead of select and selects. Okay, and tomorrow we'll continue with this internal tables, and also please remind me about this for all entries. Okay, and then I'm stopping the